This is my Delta Airlines boot bag simulator. This is what it's actually like whenever I get my gear back from Delta Airlines. That's 1, 3. Oh my God, look how beat up my boots are. No, I'm just kidding. These are from like 4 years ago. They're retired. They're just scraped up because I get down like that, you know. All right, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliot and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, we're doing it a little bit different. I have gear to review, but first, a disclaimer. I'm not paid for any of this. Nobody paid me a dime. There's no inner deal. All of these products were provided to me, and I told every company I'm gonna get my honest opinion. I get in my inbox all the time a bunch of junk. Oh, well, we've got these goggles that are gonna have AI technology in them, and I pass on that stuff. Oh, we're gonna have sold on Amazon products. It's like my spam inbox is pretty much full of that stuff. But every once in a while, I do get a couple of companies that pique my interest, or when I do a little bit of research, it seems interesting or at least relevant. Or I talked to Zach about it and he's like, dude, I love that product. So here's 3 products I reviewed. I don't typically do this. I don't know if I'm gonna do it again. We'll see how you guys like it. But these are products that I've seen other ski influencers review as well. And I wanted to see, are they being honest? And is this actually good product? Obviously, it's getting pushed out to you guys anyway. So I wanted to give my honest opinion on it. Also, like, there's no skis to review, right? It's not winter. So I thought maybe, hey, this will be a good way to keep my reviewing chops up to snuff and give you guys my opinion. But I just want to make it clear, this is not sponsored content. They did not give me a dime. They didn't pay for any of this. They sent me the product and I told them I'm going to be brutally honest. And some of them I think will be happy with the results. Others might not be. But as always, let's just jump right into it. The first product is a backpack by Diamant Skiing. This product I was initially drawn to, one, because it's designed specifically for skiers. This is a boot bag where your boots actually go inside of the bag, and it is built to meet TSA standards. That means you can take this as a carry-on. There is no more of taking your boots, putting them over the top, hitting everyone on your way, or getting them checked. I hate checking luggage when I fly, so this appealed to me. And the number 2 reason it appealed to me is the product reminds me a lot of the old High Sierra US ski team bags. So let's jump right into it. These guys didn't pay me. I'm just gonna tell you honestly the good and the bad. First off, you've got a laptop sleeve. I'm gonna assume that was probably for a tablet. Who on their ski trip is taking their laptop? Come on. I guess if you're working remotely, maybe that works, but you do have that as an option here. What did I use it for? I took this on my trip up to Bend, Oregon, and I think I put some sunglasses in here. It's like a very soft kind of fleece texture. It comes with a couple of nice little pieces. First off is a little bag. I believe this is like a toiletry bag. So you can put your toothbrush and maybe some face wash or a stick of deodorant in here. A nice touch. I think most people tend to already have a designate one of these, but it's cool to have like the full package. For that, Elliot, you're not being gentle enough with our product. Well, you didn't pay me for this. So you get what you get. The other thing it comes with is this little bag. I've already partially opened it. And I was like, what is this? Is this a goggle holder? Because it kind of looks like that. You open it up. It's a little day bag. Now, having gone to Europe a couple of times now, I actually think this rule. I bring one of these myself, just a little day bag to walk around, because when you go to the grocery stores and you need to pick up a couple things, when you're walking around and you find a souvenir, whatever it might be, it is nice to just have a little day bag that you can put water bottles in, snacks in. I really like this. This is a nice touch, especially for the price of the bag. I don't know. It seems like they're really trying to put a lot of value into this. And it packs down very tightly so that you're not taking up a bunch of room. Sorry for the crinkling. Even the little mini bag has a water bottle holder. This is super perfect. I think on my next trip to Europe, I will take this because it's pretty useful. This is pretty thin and frail, but for what it is and how small it packs down, pretty useful actually. In the past, I've used little track bags with little drawstrings, but I actually like this design better. If I was bringing it every day to the ski hill, probably wouldn't use it, but I don't know. I'm not upset it's there. The next thing you've got with this bag is you've got a couple layers, like most luggage, right? Where you've got one area maybe for your shoes, for some goggles, for some gloves. And then this bottom area is for your boots. And I'll show you how this works, but it has straps that go all along it to secure your ski boots in here. I would be careful putting your laptop right there and then putting this here. Maybe I would pack the boots first and then pack everything gently around it. I don't know, you don't want to shatter your stuff in there. So let me put my boots in here. Fabric softener in your boots. Nobody likes stinky ski boots. You lay them down in here and then you strap them down and tighten it so that they are kind of held in place. I gotta say, when I first saw this, I was like, there is no shot I'm fitting 2 ski boots in there. But when you lay ski boots down flat, it actually works fairly well. And the straps are very thoughtful, holding them in place, keeping them from stacking on top of each other, hurting your back. Whoever designed this clearly skis, because this is very, very well thought out. Actually surprisingly comfortable. That was the first thing I was ready to rip this bag on, because I did test it with my mountain bike gear and I was like, no way it's gonna feel good with ski boots. But it is insulated enough without being bulky or running into my back. Let's be honest, the ski boots are taking up like 60% of this thing, but not bad. This is what happens when people send me free stuff. I'm like the worst influencer. Oh yeah, everybody else gets glamour shots and everybody else gets like that lo-fi music over the product. Me, I'm like, all right, let's test this baby out. Okay, we got some grass stains here, but that's good. Also, no zipper tearing or fraying. A lot of luggage that I used to work with when I would get a bag from my work or whatever when I used to travel for work, that stuff would have split instantly. This stuff is holding up really well. And it's got these tape zippers to keep the moisture out. This is a nice design. You can tell stuff that's designed by people who have never skied but have an idea of it. And then you have this, which is like really well thought out. Look, you also have these vents on the side that go directly to the chamber that your boots are held in. Why is that? Because people's ski boots stink. It makes it so if you do forget your ski boots, and I would take them out obviously when you can, but if you do forget your ski boots, they're gonna breathe a little bit. Your boots aren't gonna get all nasty and make the whole bag smell bad. This was designed by somebody who actually skis. You can tell the difference. I mean, I've had a lot of ski bags that are thoughtful versus not thoughtful, and this is really thoughtful. So now that we've done an overview of the bag and tested a little bit, let's talk about the good and then we'll talk about the bad. There's a lot that I like about this bag. The first thing being that I like how discreet it is. I've had a lot of ski bags that say Salomon, Atomic, whatever, Nordica, and they have flashy colors all over it, especially back in my racing days. The problem is that when you're traveling somewhere, it becomes like a easily stolen item. A lot of people's bags and duffel bags, because the bags look cool, get stolen. This is very incognito. It looks good, but it's not flashy like, hey, there's a bunch of expensive ski gear in here. It looks like a normal bag, but the quality is really high without being flashy. Back when I worked in ski shops, we had, what was it called? It was called like the Head Monster Burrito or something. There was a ski bag made by Head back in the day that was ugly. I mean, we're talking bright, nasty orange and slime green mixed together. But we sold out of that bag because they never got stolen. They were so ugly that no one ever wanted them, and it became kind of the bag to own, especially when you were traveling internationally. I feel the same way about this bag. It's not ugly, but it's very discreet. Even when I had my ski boots in it, I was showing it to my wife and she didn't even realize that there were ski boots in it. So I think that this is a fantastic design from an aesthetic point and from a practical point. The other thing I really like about this is the material. It reminds me a lot of my old US Ski Team High Sierra backpack, which I had for decades. And just this material is very thick, very sturdy, not gonna rip with your ski boots inside of it. That's the first concern I heard when there were ski boots going inside of this is, okay, what are they doing to prevent tearing? And you have this really thick, durable material. The other thing I like about it is just the overall design. I mean, having ski boots that go inside of here that get clamped down and have ventilation, it's very well thought out. I also don't like checking luggage, so it's nice to have something that's TSA certified dimensions. Every single piece of this bag feels like it has a purpose. Sometimes people will throw in pockets that make no sense. This is like all unique to skiing. I would put my ski socks here. I would put a pair of gloves here and a pair of goggles here. There is no wasted space. It is extremely, extremely economical with its use of space. God, I mean, I like almost everything about this. The other thing I really like about this bag is that it's extremely comfortable. They made these straps extra thick. Sometimes with backpacks, you'll get just the cheapest straps and then they'll kind of cut into your shoulders, especially when you have a heavier item like ski boots inside of it. That's not the case here. These are very comfortable. It's not like a hiking backpack where it's got a ton of customization, but it's got more than most ski bags have. Like you can adjust it on the tops here and on the bottoms, meaning that if you're a taller person, you're not just gonna have it like slinging down low. You can have enough level of customization to get comfortable. I also like that the ski boots are really close to you. They're really close to your center of gravity, so they're not pulling down on your back. This feels very ergonomically friendly. It's also got these waist straps, which might be a little bit overkill, but I personally like. My wife always says that I look like a big nerd when I clip these in, but I don't know, when you're walking a long ways, it's nice to have it not just all the way on your shoulders, but some of it on your hips. Lastly, I really like these little touches. I think it would have been easy for them to make like every other ski bag that they sell to ski racers, where it's just like, okay, here's where your boots go. And it's like the same bag they've been designing for the last 20, 30 years. I like that they made this for adults, right? You've got your little toiletry bag that fits in ergonomically into the front pouch. You've got this travel day bag that comes with you. So if you're doing international travel, you don't have to bring this whole honking bag with you if you're just going to the grocery store or walking around town. This was a nice touch, and it fits perfectly inside of that front pouch with a little Velcro spot. But now that we've talked about the good, let's talk about the bad, because every product has downsides, and I wouldn't be honest if I wasn't telling you about them. So let's jump into that. The first glaring one for me, now I use this bag for a bike trip, and I liked this netting on the front. It is very cool that it has different clamp points that you can put it on. And I will even go as far as to say I liked it for a mountain bike helmet. Something that gets sweaty and gross, it's nice to be able to just clamp it down with this and have it breathe and be on the outside of the bag. But my number one gripe with this bag is I would not put my ski helmet out there. I'm assuming that that's what this is for, is to put a ski helmet on. I believe on the website they even show that. Your ski helmet is so important that I would not want it on the exterior where it could come loose. Now, the way that I got around it is I actually put my bike helmet here and then I clipped the chin clip onto this little loop here to make sure that it wasn't gonna go anywhere. But I just think that a safety device like that shouldn't be exposed out to the elements. I almost think it would be easier to have the boots be more exposed than have the actual helmet. Now, that might not jive with TSA and it might not be able to be a carry-on bag for that reason, so I kind of get it for that. But I personally, when I'm using this, will try my best to put my helmet inside of the bag. I don't like having my helmet outside of the bag. I mean, technically you could put it inside of here, and that's probably what I would recommend doing. Maybe put your helmet in here and wrap your jacket or your snow pants around it. And maybe this is just for when you get there, it's easier to walk around, because there's no way that the airplane is gonna let you have your helmet hanging out here. It's totally gonna make it oversized. Once you do get your boots in here, I think this is really smart for long-term travel where everything kind of gets packed down. And I like a lot of the features in this, but unzipping it and finding where things are can be a little bit complicated. This is such a complex product in using all of its space, like I talked about earlier, that sometimes it can be difficult to find stuff once you put it in it. I use this for my bike shoes and my bike helmet, and there were times where I'm like, wait, which zipper goes where? That may be something that you just get used to, but just know that this is a little bit more of a complicated bag. And I think that if I was using for something to go up to the ski hill every day, you're not always able to lay your bag flat. It's nice having that top-down drawstring where you can just grab a jacket really quick and not get snow into the rest of the bag. This, I think if you're opening this up and it's snowing, everything's getting exposed. So just keep that in mind. I think for like a daily bag, you could pack this in a unique way, but this is more meant for travel, for flight, things like that. Although I guess if you're going into the lodge, that doesn't really matter. I don't think it's unusable by any means, and I will probably use this as a daily bag, but I do think that it could just be a little bit more simplified in how you can access your stuff, because I would want to be able to grab something out of my bag without getting a bunch of snow in it if I was using it outdoors. It's not really what it's meant for. It's meant for more like getting you from the airport to the lodge, or, you know, being able to access your stuff in an open area, maybe on a hotel bed. But I don't know. I mean, that's such a minor defect, and the ergonomics and everything else you get vastly outweighs that. It can be a little weird to just grab stuff, and I think that's why they have this designated back pocket here. That's where I would probably put the easy to grab stuff, or I would utilize the outside pockets. The other downside of this product is when I researched it, I couldn't find any information about them being made ethically or being made in an environmentally friendly way. They may be, but typically when companies have that kind of thing, you know, they plaster it everywhere. So if that's important to you, I would take that into account. I don't know. I have no information on it. Just wanted to comment on it because it's important to me. The other thing they do offer is a 30-day warranty. I think that's a little low. I don't know, it's pretty good. They just say as long as it's not heavy use, like if you just basically took it out and wanted to make sure all of your stuff fit. So I'm assuming not doing what I just did. Throwing it around on the grass. And they actually recommend that you like throw in all of your clothes to make sure that's gonna fit before your trip. So it seems like they want people to be happy. Now, finally, let's talk price and value. Right now, you can pick up this backpack for $199. Like I said before, I am not sponsored by them, but I will put a link down below just for convenience for you. If this is a bag that you like and you're interested in, go check them out. The link will be in the description. As far as $200 goes, I'm really surprised by that price, but I think for $200, I mean, you're getting all of this stuff. You're getting this little bag, you're getting this toiletry bag, getting this bag. $200, this is a really good value. So overall, what would I give this bag for a score? You know, initially I was ready to kind of tear this thing up. I'm gonna beat it up, and I was pleasantly surprised with the quality of this bag, the color, the texture, the feel, how well designed it is for actual skiers. A lot of companies make stuff for skiers, and it's just like their normal product with a mountain slapped on it. This is an actually well-made product and well designed by actual skiers. I have no skin in the game if you buy it, but for me personally, my score on this, I gotta give this a 9 out of 10. I like this bag a lot. I think they made stuff waterproof that they didn't need to. I think that they really designed a lot of like features in it that make travel easier for adult skiers. I'm not crazy about this helmet flap. I'm sure that there's some utility to it, and maybe you could put a wet jacket there. That's probably what I would be more likely to use it for. But all in all, like that aside, and figuring out how to put your helmet in safely with some jacket wrapped around, I mean, no backpack does it for you any more than this one. So I think the overall value is high, the design is high, and if you're somebody who is traveling and doesn't want to check a bag, this is what I would go with. This is probably what I will go with. And I've had like my kids and my wife be like, oh, actually, are you gonna keep that? Do you want it? Can I have it? And I probably will give it to them just because I don't like stuff. But this is the only product that I've been sent in a while where I'm like, oh, I would totally use this and I could see myself using future versions. So take that for what it's worth. That's how I feel about this backpack. That's my honest opinion. Like I said, nobody paid me anything, but I like this a lot. Anyway, that was the first product that I was sent. Let's talk next about the other products. I have 2 more products, and those should be a little bit quicker. All right, the next brand that reached out to me that I was probably the most reluctant about was Powster. Now, they make ski goggles, and that's what they initially reached out to me about, but obviously it's, you know, it's not snowing. So I said, hey, if you want me to review your lenses on your mountain bike glasses, I'd be happy to do that because I was going on that trip to Bend. And I was very reluctant at first because this was originally a Kickstarter brand. Now, I believe the backpack also had a Kickstarter or maybe something like that. But this is the one that I primarily knew because I'd seen their Kickstarter years ago, kind of during the Kickstarter gold rush. I'm always very skeptical of this stuff. And honestly, I was prepared to not like it. This brand also sent me an email saying, hey, we don't want to do a paid sponsorship, we want you to review it. And I said, okay, you understand I'm going to be really like honest about this, right? And I'm going to point out any flaw. And they go, yes, but please be positive about it. And I was like, no, go back to the first email. And we came to an agreement, and they understood that I'm going to be brutally honest about it. There's no money that exchanges hands here. So here's what I thought of their sunglasses. Now, they sent me 2 pairs. I gave one to Zach and one that I used. And honestly, at first, I was very reluctant about these glasses. They are $150, They come with 2 extra lenses, a case, and a bag. And the reason I was reluctant is how they were shipped. They were sent to me via US Postal Service, which is normally fine, but man, something happened to that package because it came out exploded. There was, you know, the boxing and the glasses were separate in one of them, but the overall product came intact and I was pleasantly surprised by these. Now, the other thing that made me really skeptical about these is how light they are and how kind of creaky and squeaky the plastic is. For $150, I'm expecting a premium sunglass, and I was very nervous when I first put them on. But after riding in these for, what was it, like 6.5, 7 hours, I gotta say these are really nice. Now, typically sunglasses don't fit me that well. I have kind of a, what you might call a button nose, but on the inside of each of these glasses is a customizable nose piece, and it also comes with a spare nose piece, so you can customize it to each nose, which is great because Zach and I have very different faces, and both of us found a spot and they were incredibly comfortable. So now that we've given you an overview, let me tell you about the good, and then I'll tell you about the bad. Now the good on these is how light they are. They are so light on your face that after riding them for 5-6 hours, I forgot I was wearing them within the first 45 minutes. I had to keep asking Zach on the chairlift, hey, what do you think of these glasses? Oh yeah, I forgot we were wearing these. Yeah, these are great. They are so lightweight. As you can see, these don't have a frame. It's basically a lens with 2 pieces that clip into the lens. So there is as little weight as possible, which especially when you're wearing them with your helmet is really nice. We got 2 different lenses, kind of a ruby sapphire one and a darker lens. I, throughout the day, wore the darker lens. Zach wore the lighter lens. Neither of us had an issue with too much sunlight coming through. Both of us were happy with the protection. Our eyes weren't sore at the end of the day from UV light coming through. These are Spectra lenses by Zeiss. Very high quality, and they worked very well. Highlight for these glasses, honestly for me, was how good they were at adjusting between light sequences. When we were mountain biking in Bend, you would go from extremely sharp light to flat light when you went under the tree cover, and these adjusted quicker than any other glass I've felt. And they had high contrast in the shaded areas. Now they weren't the darkest, they weren't the most protective. Like I like really reflective lenses for that reason, just because my goal is more to protect my eyes than actually worry about performance. But I will say I really appreciated the difference in just like the contrast you got, especially with different pitches and terrain, or we had some of that cement lattice up on the berms. It was so easy to see that stuff coming and be able to see the different textures. These are nice glasses. I was really ready to hate these, but I gotta admit, these were high quality lenses. The other thing that's really good, obviously I talked about that nose piece. Zach and I have such different noses. I was ready to think that these were not good. They're very good. What else? The grip on the side is firm without giving you any of that pain kind of on the back of your skull. They also rest gently on your nose. They're not kind of giving you a mark. My other glasses, when I wear them for long enough, used to leave marks on my noses that didn't fit right. These left no mark, and I wore them longer than I wear most sunglasses. The other thing that was really nice about these is the field of vision. Because they are all lens, they literally wrap around everything. You don't see any framework. You're just seeing like one panoramic view, and I think that helps in keeping, at least me, I'm very easily distracted. That's why I don't like most sunglasses, but I wasn't distracted. It's like I'm getting a full panoramic view, so I'm not looking at the edges for things. And it allowed me to just focus on my mountain biking rather than worrying about the glasses. And because they were so light, like I said, I forgot I was wearing them. So it just blended for like a very natural feeling sunglass. Like I said too, I think Zach actually liked these even more than I did because he absolutely loved them. He was like, when can I keep these? Let me know when the review's done. I want to have them back. So if you're looking for like their biggest fan, that's probably Zach. Zach really loved these, and I like them a lot too, but man, he was very passionate about how good these were. You know, I told Zach, I was like, okay, do you like these because they're free, or would you like these for $150? Because Zach is the king of value. He cannot pass up a good deal. He loves a good deal. And he said, well, for $150, I'm getting all of these lenses, this case, this bag. The lenses are really nice. You've got a yellow and a clear. He's like, most sunglasses that he sees for mountain biking are 120, 130. He said for 150, this is a good value. And I gotta admit, I agree with him. I do think they're a good value. I'm always really reluctant with these brands. I used to work in an industry that dealt with Kickstarters, and so many of them are flaky that whenever I see Kickstarter, it almost is like a warning sign to me. But not here. This is admittedly a good product overall. But now that we've talked about the good, let's talk about the bad. And every product has bad, no matter how good I make them look. Here's the downsides of this product. And it's just a feature, I think, more than like a downside, but a design choice for sure. Because these sunglasses are all lens, well, there's not a lot of places to grab them from. You just kind of have these little plastic arms that actually clip in and out. And if you're wondering, they are actually, you have to kind of bring it in at an angle. Because of that, they're interchangeable. So Zach and I were able to alternate the black and white. But because of that, there's not a lot of places to grab the lens or for them to rest on your face. So they do tend to get smudged more than my other glasses. Let me show you. So these are my POC mountain biking sunglasses. This is what I typically use. And because it's got plastic right on these corners, that's an area I can grab it without smudging the lenses. This is all lens all the way. So it just ends up that there's not like really a good place to grab it, and my fingers tend to roll over and smudge it. Additionally, because there's no barrier here on the plastic like my POCs have, my eyebrow and the sweat from us biking all day did get onto the lenses, and they are just a little bit prone to smudging. The other thing I didn't like about them is that for a $150 premium price sunglass, the plastic is a little creaky. You can kind of hear it. It's not bad, but it did make me kind of pause when I first saw it because, you know, if you're paying that much, I don't want to hear plastic creaking. It made me feel like it wasn't premium at first. But as I said before, once I got mileage on them, they did prove to be a premium product. I also just think that by the lens being the primary piece and the plastic arms just kind of clipping in through, I don't like that design in that, like, if something happens to the lens, it feels a little bit more vulnerable to breaking or cracking. Whereas like if I twist my POC sunglasses, those frames kind of keep them in place, so it would be harder to crack or break. I have no evidence of them actually breaking, but something to consider if you're looking at sunglasses. I will say that like the panoramic effect, you're getting the benefit of that. You're getting a better field of view by not having those frames. So just something to consider. There's give and take to every product. Now, I also took these all weekend. I used these as driving sunglasses. I used these to float the river. I really put these through their paces expecting to find some fault, and I really did not actually. I think that if I was looking for a good lens and I really want to be able to see the different contrasting colors, I can highly recommend these. I was ready to like totally be like, oh, this is just some cheap brand. And to be fair, I don't see anything about these being ethically made or being manufactured in the US or somewhere ethically. So, you know, typically if you are ethically made, you put that all over your website. I didn't see anything for Powster, but I have no evidence of where they're made exactly. If you look on their website, they do have a couple of addresses in mainland China. Not to say that every product that comes out of China is bad, but typically the quality of products that you see come out of China aren't always the best. I have had some off-brand knockoff glasses made in China that I was not impressed with. These are not that level. These are still a nice product and the lenses are still well made, but something to consider for your purchase because I care about sustainability. I care about ethical products being made. So that's why I bring it up, but you'll have to decide how much that impacts your purchase. As far as the quality though, these are high quality sunglasses. So what kind of score would I give these Powster sunglasses and will I use them? Yeah, I probably will use these on long rides. They're so much lighter than my actual sunglasses. But then again, like, I love my POC sunglasses. I don't know. I'll probably give them away. I hate owning stuff. I mean, the field of view is definitely better on the Powsters, and the lenses are definitely better, although mine are a few years old, so maybe they're just beaten up. Yeah, I probably will wear these, actually. They're useful. I don't know if I would replace my POC ones for these. I like my POCs a little bit better. They're a little bit sturdier. But I have to admit, the lenses on these are better. They do have better contrast. They were better between high and low light. All in all, that's not who would be buying that though. If you already have something, you're not really in the market. If I was just going off the street and gonna buy a pair of sunglasses, would I recommend these? Yeah, I would actually. But all in all, it's hard to deny that these have nice lenses and have a nice design. I think the big downside for me is just how dirty the lenses get. Like mine are still so smudged even after cleaning them. I think that's a big trade-off with not having a framer on the outside, that both mine and Zach's glasses got really smudged. But again, we're mountain biking, so stuff gets dirty. But also that's what these are designed for. So I wish that these were a little bit easier to clean and that they weren't so prone to smudging. Even if it was just a slight like plastic along the ridgeline or something like that. But for the price and for the quality of lens you're getting, I gotta say, I do like them. The plastic's a little creaky. I don't like that sound when I'm spending $150. But I think it's safe to say that the lenses really, over the course of a long weekend, proved themselves to be really efficient and just top tier. I think they've really done a good job making a product that's customizable for everyone and not cutting corners in its design around the lenses. I think this nose piece is a really nice touch. A lot of sunglasses, you have to go and test them to see if they fit. This was Zach's and doesn't fit me now, but if I opened up the nose piece, it absolutely would. I like that it's so easy to just buy another lens and not have to replace the glasses altogether. I'd probably give it a 7.8 out of 10. If you're talking to Zach, he'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. He absolutely loved these. For me, there's a couple little things that irk me that maybe Zach doesn't notice as much. But all in all, a decent product. All right, on to the next product. Lastly, we have the arcade belt. Now, I knew nothing about this company. They reached out to me last minute, and I was like, all right, if you can get this to me by the end of the week before I go on this trip with Zach, sure, I'll review it. I had no plan on it. They are not sponsoring me again. They just sent me the product to review, and I did start seeing it a lot on Instagram ads, so I was like, okay, I was curious. But again, all of these brands reached out to me. I did not reach out to them to review this stuff. So what do I think of the arcade belt? Well, they sent me actually 3 belts. This is the one that Zach got. It is the National Geographic Special Edition. And then I got this other special edition one that's got this kind of cool topographical belt buckle. So there's 2 types of belts. They have like the premium one with kind of a larger buckle and a slightly wider belt like width. And then you have the original design. I got 2 versions of the Jimmy Chin, the bigger buckle version and the regular version. This one is narrower, this one is wider. These are ethically made. From their website, it says arcade belts use sustainable materials to make their belts, including Repreve recycled polyester and other materials. Arcade belts webbing is made 15% natural rubber, a virgin material, yada yada. So they are making an effort to reduce their environmental footprint, which is great. I will say, there is nothing that talked about these being ethically made, and when you look at the tag, they are made in China again. So if that's something that matters to you, it matters to me. Just letting you know. I also find that funny, as Jimmy Chin is a big activist artist, and if you look at some of his works, he's done different documentaries talking about where things are made. So I do find it a little weird that his product is made in China. But not all Chinese factories are the same, so maybe they know something I don't. That was just like looking at the tag, doing a little bit of research, but I did find that slightly ironic. Now, let's talk about the product itself. I have to say, this is a darn good product, and I used it non-stop for the last 2 weeks. This is my new favorite belt. I like this product a lot. These retail for $38. The premium buckle version retails for $43. All in all, it's a pretty good value. What makes these belts unique though, is that they have rubber to them. They have give. So when you are sitting down, you get a little bit of stretch while still holding your pants up. I am notoriously bad at keeping my pants up. Me, my dad, my son, we all have what my wife calls the Fulner crack, because anytime we bend over, our belts just don't do the job, and I don't know, it's like something with our proportions, but our pants are always falling down. My dad especially, and as I get older, me too. The other thing about this belt is it's extremely light. The big issue I have with most belts is when you put them into shorts, the big heavy leather ones actually weigh so much more compared to the shorts. And pants are so heavy anyway, it doesn't really matter. But with shorts, this is proportionate more in weight to the shorts than the pants. And overall, I like this product a lot. But let's talk about the good, and then we'll talk about the bad. The good is that it doesn't give you a lot of that buckle riding into your stomach. It's very comfortable. It kind of moves with you. It also is so light that if you're using it for hiking or something like that, it doesn't really weigh you down. It's not adding a bunch of weight. It has a level of customization that you don't get from traditional belts with the little, tongue going into it. These also are relatively stylish. This one's got the black on red. Zach has the black on yellow. Zach, actually, before I even knew who Arcade was, I told him about it and he goes, oh yeah, I own 6 of those belts. Zach hates owning things, and the fact that he has 6 is wild. But Zach has been using this product for the last 5 to 10 years. I guess they also have some roots to Tahoe, so that's how he knows them. But it's a real product that Zach's been using for a long time and really enjoys. I also was worried. I'm bigger than Zach, so I'm thinking, okay, a belt is gonna work for him but not work for me. No, this actually worked for me fine. It didn't dig into my stomach when I bent over. It didn't dig into my skin at all. This was a very comfortable, practical belt, and this is probably the only belt I would take hiking, and I could see using it skiing. Like, I've used leather belts in the past skiing, but they always get too rigid or they don't really do as good of a job as suspenders. This is something I could see using with my suspenders snow pants to just keep a snugger fit. I think that the price is reasonable. On their website, they're supporting Protect Our Winters, POW. So a lot of cool stuff going there. I wish that there was more emphasis on being made ethically, but again, I don't know the intimate details, but made in China doesn't tend to bode well for that. Now that we've talked about the good, let's talk about the bad. And there are a couple of things I don't like. One, my main gripe with this product isn't actually the original belt. The original belt is a great design. It goes in and out of the pants quickly. Sometimes when you're taking it off, this little loop can get stuck in the pant loop as you're taking it off, which is extremely frustrating. So you have to give yourself a little bit more time. It's not like a leather belt where the smooth side can just kind of get pulled out easily. But my number one gripe is with the premium version because it's too wide for certain belt loops, which is crazy. Let me show you. So again, this wasn't an issue with the smaller version because the smaller belt buckle doesn't get caught as much. So because this belt buckle is so much bigger, you can only go through this side, which wouldn't be a problem, except this is bulkier than the smaller one. So there are certain loops I couldn't get it through easily. It took me like 10 minutes to do this, and I'll show you. Here I have the exact shorts I was wearing. I try to feed it through the loop, and maybe it's just because I'm a bigger guy. I don't know, maybe it's bunching things up. But look, here it is. It gets stuck. This little clasp can barely get it through. You have to take like an agonizing maybe 10 to 30 seconds to feed it through, okay? But let's say you have to take this thing off. It has this cool design here, the Arcade belt, where it'll stop it so that if, it comes undone, it'll hold its place and to still keep your pants kind of up. But it so barely fits in these Patagonia pants that I really struggled to get it off. And it was so impractical that I just went back to using my leather belt. And then when you go to take it off, right, it doesn't matter on your front loop because you can kind of see what's going on. But let's say it's on the back loop. This little hook gets hung on and you're tugging at it, why isn't it going? So then you have to backtrack it forward when you can't see, and then it gets bunched up. This gets hooked so easily and really does not fit well. Now, with other pants and shorts I tried this on, it worked a little bit better, but I really do think that these wider versions of the belts are too wide, and there's no reason it should take this long, barely fitting through there. Let's try on these other shorts. Yeah, that works a little bit better. Maybe it's just that one design. I tried on a pair of Prana ones and I had more issues. Just keep that in mind. If you care more about fashion and having a big belt buckle, sure, maybe go with this. Or if you have some rough and tumble jeans that are pretty easier to get in and out of, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you're really gonna use this for a hiking pant, I would go with the original design. I think I found it just to be easier and smoother to get in and out. As I said, I'm not paid by Arcade, I'm not sponsored. I'm here to tell you the truth about a product, whether it's good or bad. This isn't a deal breaker for me, and I will absolutely still recommend this original one, but I will say if you're getting the premium belt, just be aware of some of the downsides. The other downside is that this plastic does feel a little cheap. I guess it's not a very expensive product, but I wouldn't mind a premium version with some light aluminum metal, just something that feels a little bit more premium. As an adult wearing plastic clips, it feels a little bit like having a Velcro wallet. I would have liked to see something a little bit more premium for this belt buckle. But for that price, I almost can't expect it. And I would rather have the rubber and plastic than have metal on leather, because this rubber really was more comfortable on me when I sat down, when I was bending over, when I was hiking. I really enjoyed this belt overall more, so I would highly recommend it. I would have no hesitation recommending it as someone's next belt. I think there are some really cool designs out there. But just know, on the website, this plastic kind of has some gloss to it so it can look metal. It's not, it's plastic. But all in all, for this product, I would give this an 8.5 out of 10. I really like it. I think that it does something that most belts don't do, not creating pinching, especially if you're a bigger person like me. It has full customization, some cool style. I'm really happy with it. With the wider version of the belt, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. It has the same utility, but just kind of a bigger pain to get in and out of the belt loops depending on your pants. So just maybe look at it. And it's hard because it's an online product, so you can't really compare it pant to pant. I wish they were doing a little bit more with ethical treatment of people that make the product. But all in all, this is a solid 8.5 out of 10, and I will absolutely personally use this and have been using it for the last, what, 2-3 weeks, and was totally happy with it and actually replaced my personal belt with it. I also think the price makes a lot of sense. It's a great gift option, and I'm not sponsored by them. This is just my personal opinion on it, and yeah, all in all, excellent product, would highly recommend. I think Zach would give this like a 9.5 out of 10. It's like his go-to request for his significant other and mother to get for him. So he loves this stuff, but I'm gonna give it a conservative 8.5 out of 10. I just have a couple little things here and there that I think they could do to optimize it and make it even better. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. A little different. I don't normally review this kind of product. As you guys know, I do ski reviews, but this is ski adjacent. This is products that get marketed towards skiers, and this is something where the brands reached out. Like I said, this is probably 10% of all the stuff that comes in my inbox. I turned down the majority of it, but all of this stuff was stuff that I found interesting or thought you might want to know about, so that's why I took it on. And like I said, just to dust the cobwebs off the old review piano. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. I hope you found it useful if you've been looking at these products. As always, I'll have links down in the description to help you out. But more than anything, just thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.